Our tour through Texas ends in Houston. This sprawling metropolis is a beacon for innovation, cuisine, and progress in the heart of the southern United States. Amidst the city hustle and bustle converges a dedicated disc golf scene celebrating the 29th year of the Texas State Disc Golf Championships. Over the years, this event has seen its share of memorable moments, with one player leaving a lasting impact.
State champion, Ricky Wysocki!
It's an amazing feeling to be back and get my 6th Texas State title.
Still, with each new week comes a clean slate, leaving the past behind and offering an opportunity for anyone to ascend to victory.
2023 Texas State champ, Cy Hernandez.
The 2024 Texas State Disc Golf Championships start now.
Hello and welcome to our feature car for round 1, front 9 from Houston, Texas at the Texas State Disc Golf Championships presented by Lone Star Disc. We've got BigBarri commentary in the booth today and all week bringing you the action here from Brock Park, Paul Ulibarri, Jeremy Koling. Got a good week ahead of us.
Yes, sir. I mean, that piece that Brian just gave us was awesome. I think that was my favorite one. He does a good job with those, but let's get into the action. And we got action for you. Nikko Locastro, he's playing pretty good right now. I think
Always.
Yeah, I think that he's got that veteran mentality, something that could really bode well for this course.
Hey, he's good at every course. He's just down the fairway, long distance, good putts. Carter Ahrens, new Lone Star Disc team member, and this event is a Lone Star Disc, so first 2 players on our card representing the brand that is sponsoring this Elite Series event. Calvin Heimburg, I think he's still narrowly holding on to that number 1 spot world ranking, but I know Gannonburr is knocking on the door. It's going to be interesting to see how Calvin bounces back from that injury that plagued him a little bit 2 weeks ago in Austin. Speaking of Austin, we've got the newest member of the Elite Series champions, Niklas Anttila, putting the entire country of Finland on his back. Just incredibly awesome finish with the back-to-back birdies to take down that championship.
Yes, sir. And we got this beautiful park, Brock Park, hole 1, par 4, 740 feet. We got a little head crosswind, mandatory on the left, out of bounds left, right, dog leg left, up to this nice, beautiful green. Great starting hole, in my opinion.
Yeah, it is. A lot of distance off the tee required, because if you don't, you're going to have a long, 360-foot low ceiling approach.
Texas State Disc Golf Championships presented by Lone Star Discs. First on the box, representing Lone Star Discs and Sacred Disc, please welcome Nikko Locastro.
Got 2 plays here. You can do the flex shot, left to right bender, or straight hyzer with the wind. Looks like Nico's going with the flex shot with something extremely overstable.
That's not going to get to that great landing zone. It's going to be a really tough birdie from back there, but he's safe.
Please welcome Carter Ahrens.
Yeah, that flex shot is really tough to throw off of this tee because of the right to left crosswind. As soon as it gets over, it's going to want to slam into the ground like you saw with Nico's here. If you can get a little hyzer right off the bat, like Carter does, and flip it, could be good, but this is leaking. This is fine, but he's going to be pinched off with that mandatory.
No angle.
So no angle for the birdie.
Champion Discs, Squatch in Flight Factory. Please welcome Calvin Heimburg.
Calvin, if he was one of those professional guys, he would get his most overstable disc and put it on Anheuser.
Yeah, the wind actually, I think it was kind of pretty gusty the entire day. Whoa. Misfire right off the tee.
Good break.
Yeah, sure.
Left or right, that's out of bounds. So I think he's going to be happy with that.
Good thing he didn't almost hit his gap.
Exactly. And
He really missed it.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised, Jerm, that nobody's going with the straight hyzer. Saw a lot of people do that on my card, and it worked out great.
Is that getting far enough to get to the...
It was.
Okay.
But I was also playing with some people that...
Throw it.
throw it really far.
Niklas just gets, man, just rocks the baby to sleep and just throws darts. That is a long tee shot.
Yes.
And it looked so effortless.
Hit the angle really nice. This needs to hurry.
Oh, I think he's going to like this. This is going to be in that back side of the fairway.
Yep.
Very good chance to save the par now after a decent recovery shot there from Calvin.
Tricky part about the second shot here is the low ceiling.
Yep. It just, not much you can really do from back here. Nikko not really getting too aggressive, just keeping it down the middle. I think he realized it's just out of position.
Yeah, one of the things I was really working on.
Oh, look how close that one is.
I didn't know that was so close to the line.
Well, it's because the OB lines, this is a critique I have. I love this course. I love the design. I think the one critique I have is that these OB lines are really difficult to see, and the stakes kind of blend in with the grass, and it's kind of hard to see where the OB lines come in.
It is. You got to do your homework. Got to do your gardening, as my caddy would say.
Totally. And Carter just has to pitch up around the corner. Meanwhile, Niklas with a great chance to birdie, and he's going to take advantage of it.
Yes, he is. But I was going to say, last week I was really working on left to right Anheuser shots because there's so many low ceilings at this course.
Yes.
I think somebody who can really flex the
man.
disc will probably have a great advantage this week.
Some early struggles here for Calvin off the tee and on his third shot, connecting on obstacles, and he's going to have to come up with a big putt to save the par. Yeah, this course is very much like a golf course style. It's not on a golf course, but it feels like it. And the biggest difference, I would say, is that you have a lot of these low ceiling shots.
This is so far my favorite course that we played on tour so far this year.
Interesting. Calvin from C2, and it's low, and that will be an opening bogey.
Easy to do here, especially when you hit the first tree.
Speaking of ground play and the low ceilings, one of the things you also have to be really mindful of, and doing your homework is going to be a huge help, is where the grass will skip and where it won't skip.
Yes.
A lot of this course is very thick grass, and even though it looks kind of short where Carter's staying right there, it doesn't tend to skip that much because of the clovers and the little, it's just really Velcro-y grass. And
Yes.
so you have to, sometimes you got to get a little bit closer to the basket, and you're not playing for the skip even though the grass does look low.
Does look like the weather's going to hold out for us this week, which is such a positive. We've kind of gone, well, the tour's sent us through the ringer the last few weeks with the mud.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, the mud on top of the shoes, and then you're dragging that on top of the tees, and
Yeah.
it's just, it's been pretty rough.
what we got here?
Well, we got a par 3, 360 feet, and you got the option of going the backhand turnover or hyzer sidearm, or going down the middle. But you have these two bunkers on either side of the green. It's a little bit uphill from where you stand on the tee, and there's also an OB line left that circles around long. It's not that long of a tee shot, and I think we have a bit of a tailwind today. It's going to help the wide forehand work.
That's a great
That
looking
is
shot
so
there.
good, just into bullseye as well. And again, how little effort does it look like Niklas is putting behind that?
Not much. He's a
It just,
buttery smooth operator.
you know, you talk about effortless, and I think of Eagle McMahon, for instance. We talk about how, but Eagle is such a tall guy, and he's got the long arms, so it makes a lot of sense. But Niklas is a shorter in stature guy that's also going effortless and getting a lot of distance. It's really cool to see that.
Well, even Nikko's probably around the same height, I would guess.
Right.
And he looks like he puts a little more into it.
And that does find the bunker left. It's a hard flex line through that wide gap. Oh, look at this from Carter.
Sit.
This was tracking that right side bunker, or no, it's not. It's over it.
This is a great hole design, in my opinion. 2 gaps right off the tee. Those bunkers really shape it to where you have to be super accurate. And going deep, just pounding one up the middle and trying to get it to flip, gets you in trouble.
Calvin, this is going straight out of bounds. This wasn't even close. Calvin is on top of the tee for hole 3. That's
He's
a
gonna have
wildly inaccurate tee shot.
yeah, circle 2 look. sit.
Oh, no. Gosh, what a bad break.
Yeah, you don't typically see them get that much ground play.
Talking about how thick the grass is, and I mean, this is just full roll. I'm excited to watch Carter today. Obviously, one of our young superstars in the sport, or emerging superstars. We can't call him a superstar yet, but he is definitely a player to watch out for. If you remember his performance last year at the Beaver State Fling, Calvin low off the cage, where he made a good move for the event from like third card. And I think he was 15 years old at the time.
Yes. Nikko to save the par. This is a hazard.
Oh, no. That
so you actually
didn't look right.
Yeah, you actually putt where you go out of bounds instead of taking your relief.
Meanwhile, Niklas starts off 2 under through 2. Calvin's going to be 2 over through 2. Carter's going to take a bogey. Nikko's going to take a bogey. I mean, that is huge separation right there in 2 holes already for Niklas.
Yes. Got a interesting question for you on the next hole once we get there.
Okay.
As Calvin and Carter tap in their little bullseye putts there.
Well, this is certainly not the start we expected to see from Calvin. No forehands this week either for Calvin. He's on a strict regimen of backhands only to protect the arm. But so far, the backhand game hasn't been dialed in.
Yeah, typically he doesn't need it. Well, in Houston, he came very close to winning. Austin, he came very close to winning and ended up not being able to pull it out. But a hole 3, par 4, 870, straight down this chute. Low ceiling kind of off the tee pad.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Down this hill, this goalie's out of bounds, and then it's over here perched on this hole.
I love this green.
This is a great hole, but as soon as the wind flips headwind,
oh boy,
it changes everything.
It goes from being fun to being a nightmare.
Yeah, so what do you think about, like, as we do a little check-in, actually?
Okay.
I'll get to my point.
Well, we got another Team Lone Star guy here, Robert Burridge.
What a drive.
Yeah, that's getting to the crest of the hill is really what you want to do. If you go any farther than that, congratulations, you've thrown it 530 feet.
Ooh.
But also not congratulations because you have a downslope on your run-up. Robert does as good as you can from there and hits the pole. A little tap in.
It's a great birdie.
All right, what's your question, bud?
No, so tailwind, of course, it plays like a really, really good par 4.
Yeah, a good par 4 distance.
When it flips, it turns into like a super bonus hole for anybody, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. What about having just different tee pads for windy situations like this? Like bring the tee pad up to where
then you have the situation where the wind switches midday and...
Yeah, I guess. That happens a lot.
I've thought of like an interesting thing that as we saw Niklas with a good drive. Nikko, good line there. That's in the prime spot. What if you had a hole, like not in like a big tournament, but like on a homegrown style course where you have 2 different tee pads that were similar enough where you get to pick which one you want to play off of.
Kind of like
Anyways, that's not
food for thought.
Yeah, food for thought. There you go.
For our consumer.
And there is Carter Ahrens showing why he is a guy to watch out for in the coming years. He has a big arm.
Yeah, that was all hyzer. 500 feet of it. But in this tailwind, this is playing like a good par 4. Get it out there. Get it on the ground just like that. 2 of those, you're home.
I think a lot of these guys want to finish on the left side of the fairway to give them a little bit more room to swing a hyzer in. And Niklas just going to kind of go straight at it.
He needs a little lift.
Yeah, it's so far uphill that he just didn't quite get the height right. Nikko, with the flex, he's on that right side of the fairway. He should have plenty of space to do another flex, which is what he is going for.
It's coming out. I like the lift.
Is it there? No, it's at the bottom of the hill. That's a long uphill putt from there.
It's a long shot from where they are. This is what we'll see, though. Flat to the guy over there, spotter.
Yeah, that's more like it.
That's a good shot.
And it seems shorter than it is because the grass, because it slopes uphill all the way to the pin. So Calvin's probably only 22 feet away.
Yeah, he's very close.
And Carter leaves it short. There is out of bounds long left, so maybe that got in his head on the approach, but Look how close Nikko was to that left side OB. He's been known to throw a few of these in.
That was a good little try.
Yeah, he likes to give those little Barsby style stabs from that distance. He's got good control with the nose angle. Such a long putt from down here. Niklas over the top.
Can't believe you shut me down so fast with my idea with the tee pads.
Well, I mean, that's the situation. What if the wind switches mid-round? I do think it would be cool as Calvin gets on the board. I think it would be really cool to see more of the basket slightly changes, maybe tee-pad changes between rounds, but not necessarily for the conditions. Because I think that style more like golf, where it's like the hole has a different gap now, but the idea of the hole remains the same. I like that idea.
I thought you were going to say I was hoping that we would find more good ideas from people, from my co-hosts.
Hey, a little commentary fist bump here. I believe that we both birdied this hole today.
I did, yeah.
We did, is what you should have said.
I don't know if you did. I haven't checked that. I have to confirm with my sources.
Now that I did, is what I'm telling you.
I have to call my people.
Cheers to helping new players, to high fives and encouragement, to being a positive light while helping grow the sport. Cheers to you, Ranger Team. Thank you.
This hole's tough, Paul.
Let's have a shorter tee pad.
Yeah, right. This is a blind par 3, 405 feet, and these trees on the right side serve as like a real pesky group of trees because you want to swing that hyzer's in late, but it's more of like a stand up the whole way type of shape, which requires you breaking it kind of close to the inside trees. It's not an easy hole to birdie, even though it looks like a standard stock hyzer.
It should be a standard stock hyzer. Like, let me demonstrate with Calvin's drive here. Pretty standard.
Yeah, right.
That's what you need to do.
It's just hard to hit that line.
The distance pulls you out of a comfort zone of like 360. 360 comfort zone stock hyzer force. That's what we're used to typically throwing.
Right. And this, and barely, does that, no, it doesn't. No. See, that's the... He tried to keep it tight on the inside, didn't quite get enough power behind it. Now he's out of bounds.
Well, it's so hard to get the angle correct. Nikko does a great job right here of doing it. I think. And that's OB. Wow.
Well, I'm telling you, man, when I see this hole, it puts me in a very uncomfortable place.
Well, I think it's more of a straight shot than a hyzer, personally.
Carter not even really playing for the traditional birdie approach. Maybe he was trying to birdie it, but that looked like a low to just trying to get in bounds style, and nothing wrong with that.
You know, if you play it like a straight shot instead of the hyzer, then you're going to penetrate through the gap, but it makes it a really small gap. Yeah,
and you didn't really see it. I don't think you can see it right now, but that road that's behind Nikko, that road that comes up the fairway actually is not the out of bounds line. It comes about 15 feet off tight. That road. So it really is tight on this side of the green.
Yeah, I was actually thinking while I was playing it, I actually missed it and went to the drop zone. And I was thinking people were going to eat it up, but you're right. It is playing a little tougher.
I mean, it's
than I thought.
It's averaging 3.2.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's averaging over par on a 400-foot hyzer shot.
To know.
The wind certainly played a factor in that, though. And like we mentioned a little bit on hole one, it was quite breezy all day. There were some lulls, but for the most part, you're always playing through wind, and sometimes the gusts were nearly obnoxious.
See, I was feeling like if people were going to miss it, they would be hitting those limbs on the right. But it seems like people are coming in early.
A guy in my card threw it straight out of bounds on the hole before, hit off the bridge and kicked in bounds. And on this hole, he threw it off the bridge. It skipped back in bounds. Back-to-back holes. He used the bridge twice in a row.
That's what they're for.
That's what they're for here, folks. Pay attention.
Across.
Calvin Heimburg back-to-back birdies, no pars, and now he is back to even. And only 3 players in our field have managed to start 3 under through the first 4.
Hole 5, par 3, 351. This is that low ceiling I'm talking about. They really like that at this course. Low ceiling on the right side. If you want to play the sidearm left, you have a little more height. Really touchy green. You can see this backdrop behind it. So 350 is as far as you want to throw this. If you throw it any farther, you're done. You're too far.
And there's OB long as well. So you have to get it right. And this is another one of those, how do you play the ground play? You have to really figure out which speed and angle you want to get on the green with. Ooh. And well, it doesn't really matter what speed it comes in with if you square up the base.
And it's tough because if you land short, you're left with a 30. Let's say you're left with a 30-footer. It's a scary 30-foot putt looking at that basket, especially with these windy conditions. Here's Calvin. I like it. Does it have enough bite?
And does it catch the right?
That's nice, but that's that putt.
Sure.
But that's where you want to land, I think. Any farther, you're messing with.
You're getting really close to danger the closer you get to the pin.
Okay. Oh, yes.
Some people say the closer you are to danger, the farther you are from harm.
Keep your enemies close and your friends far away, is what they say in the book that I read. So many books, though. I can't even name it.
I know, you are quite the novelist. Quite the hobby reader. Niklas hitting the thick grass, coming up short. Nikko going a bit wider, a little more angle. This looks like it's going to be pretty good.
One of my favorite things is a rainy day. Let's just say that.
Back to the reading stuff. What's he talking about, man?
This is a smart play here from Niklas.
Who would you say is your favorite author?
Oh, that's a good one. I'd have to think about that for a little bit. So many.
Calvin in the basket for the birdie. High ground, putting downhill with the slope behind. That is a spot where a lot of players would come up short. Calvin obviously has issues putting low. That time he got it perfect. And so does Carter for his first birder of the round. Just stick with it.
Yeah. Nikko, not a gimme, but gets it in there.
And that's his first birdie of the round. So Niklas, after his perfect start, is going to be back of the box and has not had a birdie since hole 2.
Easy to do here. You play these holes, they're all gettable, but all of a sudden you're a couple over, you get a bogey sprinkled in there. And it's just one of those tough tracks. I like it because it makes you throw all kinds of different angles.
Niklas had Calvin by 4 strokes after 2 holes, and now they are tied after 5. Ezra Robinson, 4 under through 5, man. He is starting off the season with some fire. Hole 6 is a fun par 4, 665-foot dogleg right. There's OB on that left side, OB on the woods on the right. You have to get a pretty long tee shot in order to get all the way around the corner in order to see the pin. There is, I believe, out of bounds. Maybe it doesn't circle behind the pin. I think those lines do continue off into infinity behind the basket, but it's pretty narrow as you get up to the pin on the left and right side.
Is this playing as the hardest hole? I was curious. I thought it would be pretty close as far as...
I thought it was going to be close between this and 18, and you're absolutely right. You nailed it. This is the hardest hole on the course.
And that's why. Low ceiling, and you don't want to, and nobody throws it low here. And you get greedy. Everybody gets greedy here. There's not one person that's playing it low, because if you do play it super low,
you don't get enough distance.
You don't get enough distance, and you're where Carter is, and from there, it takes an all-world shot.
430 feet.
Totally doable Carter's. As far in the air, but the shot shape is just insane.
Yeah.
Nikko going mid-range, it looks like.
And the tee pad is actually kind of bouncy. It's got like a, I don't know. It's like, it's definitely not solid underneath. So it kind of feels like you're bouncing on plywood, and it also is sloping down to the right. So it's a little bit uncomfortable.
Sure.
When you're big and goofy footed like I am.
Uh-oh.
This could be a lot of trouble. That initial thing he hit put him back on track for the fairway, and then that's fortunate. This would take some superhuman effort for Calvin to save the par.
He's trying his best.
Yeah, it's going to be too low.
That was on
The line was so saucy.
Yeah.
Just needed about 4 more feet of height.
Now watch this shot. Oh, he is going roller. I like the line if it flips fast, but that wind.
This is looking great.
Asking a lot.
Oh, man. Oh, it's out of bounds as well.
Yep.
Oh, it's so hard to see that OB line.
It's on those trees, so it's on the other side of the trees.
Man, that was really going to work for Carter, I think.
And now we're knowing why it's playing. That I don't think this is circle 2.
Yeah. Okay.
Not bad.
And now it's rolling back to Nikko.
Run it.
You got it, dude.
Go Cardinals.
Oh, man. That is an inside joke, folks. We will not let you in on it.
Oh, that's on the line.
I mean, if
too.
Carter's out of bounds, then that one's out of bounds. I think they're touching. I think Niklas's drive actually, or shot, just lifted Carter's roller from inside those trees.
Really?
I think so, yeah. I think I saw a disc pop up.
Not an easy approach here.
Yeah.
It gets past the basket. It funnels really easily.
Slow down. Slow down.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
once you get in there, that is not going to be an easy putt. He's going to be pinched.
Best case is if you can jump putt down here, go ahead and do it.
Like this.
Control the speed a lot better.
That's it. See, even that.
Wow.
Come on, Nikko, run it. Oh, he already went. Did he lay up? I must have been drinking a drink. I meant focus on the commentary.
I mean, yeah, you never take your eyes off the screen. Carter is going to pay the price. Too deep, misses the putt. And
Look
now,
at this little layup.
Yeah, Niklas has to. But fortunately, he has that low release, that low to high release, which served him well.
There, yeah. Oh, that's right. Nikko laid up to the right. Oh, boy.
Oh, that was perfect.
He's not gaining confidence from that one. I'll tell you that now. But it's in there.
So Nikko taking the box with a par.
Really a good par on
Here
this
on
one.
the 6th. Yeah, in the wind as well. That tough hole. And the shortest hole, no, maybe the second or third shortest hole in the course, hole 7, par 3, 294 feet. Another one of those, like, you know, I like that the diversity in this course continues to challenge different shots. You know, you have the big distance shots, you got the fairway drivers, the forehands. This time it's going to be a backhand putter turnover for most of these players. Uphill?
Yes.
This is perfect. This is so good. This is Nikko's specialty on that shot shape.
You know, you were mentioning how you can't see the OB stakes, which is very annoying. But let me throw a little curveball at you.
Okay.
What if...
There was no OB.
No. I kind of don't... I don't like it because I'm not used to it. But what if that's just the way that it was and you really had to do your homework of where the OB is?
Oh, that's a big thumbs down for me, partner.
All right.
What if I just didn't throw OB and I don't care what color the OB stakes are?
I don't know. Just bring an extra... That's a great kick. An extra skill that you would actually have to really focus and mark your distances and different things like that, landing zones. I don't know.
Carter pulling it tight to the tree, missing
Go
it.
in.
And put the brakes on. Yeah, bullseye hit for Carter Ahrens.
Sometimes these ideas just pop into my mind.
Yeah, I mean, I think OB is subjective, and I don't think I've ever technically been out of bounds. What do you think about that?
For somebody who's read as many books as I have, that one's tough for me to
Calvin
calculate.
refuses to take a par. Good putt for him.
Beautiful putt.
Niklas rocks the baby to sleep and gets another birdie. And we are just a couple short putts away from the first star frame of the Texas State Championships. If you have never watched 2009 vintage Nikko Locastro, like watch old videos if you can find them. Watch the way he used to putt then, and it was the most unique style with the wide straddle. He'd bring the disc nearly to the ground, and it had this extreme up and down motion that came in with a lot of speed. It's amazing to me how much his putt has adapted through the years to change into what it is now.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I mean, his putt back then was far and beyond better than anybody in the field.
It was the Gannon Burr from C2 effect, where it was just like you knew what was happening.
This is a great hole. Par 5, 1,061 feet. Well,
1,160.
Let's add 100 feet on that. Beautiful shot. Just let it rip off the tee. There's a little OB right and left, but typically he's not going to come into...
You're not going to find that.
Yeah, not going to find it off the tee. Second shot, maybe, but you have another low ceiling or a high flex shot, so you can... It makes a player think, do I want to go high and be aggressive? Do I want to just place one in the middle? Typically, you're left with your third shot that's going to be about 350 to 380 in.
The second shot really is the key shot here on this hole. Like, even though the tee shot's so wide open, as you see Nikko put his drive in the middle, Calvin's going to put, I mean, everything's technically the middle here, but what is your preference on the second shot? Do you want to go high hyzer? Do you want to go big forced and hyzer? There's really no straight option, because there's those grouping of trees that are going to come into play on the second shot are going to make you think.
I think where Niklas is going, he might have a straight option. He
Really?
might be
Okay.
able to throw it.
I haven't
straight,
seen anyone go that far right yet, so that'll be interesting to see.
But there's always a high flex shot. I feel like that most people.
Yeah,
are
that's
gonna
going to be
take.
the predominant play for most big arm guys is going to be the flex play over the top. And Carter Ahrens is certainly one of those guys. Big tee shot here.
Man, remember when AB threw it in our practice run?
It just landed like 15 minutes ago.
That's crazy. All right, let's see if he goes. There is this middle route right there. Yeah, see, it's kind of a straight shot.
Okay. Bringing the pine into play, and he's got his work cut out for him on that last shot coming into the green.
Nikko doesn't like those things. He likes high flex shots. No,
And it's a little low. Does it get over everything?
this might be great, Jerm.
Yeah. Okay, it does. Yep.
Very overstable.
Yeah, he's going to like that quite a bit. Minus that yellow stake right in front of him. What's that thing doing there?
Could
That's
be very large.
That's the shot that you like to see. Even though it gets crushed down at the end,
I said 350. How about 260?
No, yeah, low twos to the pin from there.
Closest I've seen. This
Yeah, that
could
was
be-
huge.
Oh no, this could be OB left.
You think?
I feel like it's going left.
No,
not so
yeah.
Well, pretty wide fairway, I guess.
But just on the other side, if you squint really hard, you can see the OB stakes. So he was pretty close to it.
Yeah, that definitely got me too. This needs a hyzer in a hurry, Jerm.
Oh, Niklas out of bounds.
That hit him in the foot.
I don't think so. Yeah, it does matter, but it wouldn't have come back in bounds. Certainly don't want to ever see a spectator.
Oh, come on. Get nibbled in the foot. Owie. I think it was going 2 miles an hour.
I know, but you don't want to see it.
Hit him in the foot. Soft.
Yeah, of course.
Like that one.
Of course. All right, Carter. Kind of a high approach going into this green, but gets away with it.
Ish.
Yeah, he's still got to make it.
Yeah, that's not great.
It's not over.
this is what you'd consider great. That was 180 feet. I didn't know that people were doing that.
I mean, think about that. That's 2 500-foot shots, essentially.
Yep.
And Niklas will be taking a bogey here on the third easiest hole of the day. I mean, you're right.
Ew.
I mean, he was still over 20 plus away. Why didn't that go in?
That could have stayed.
That's a really weird bounce out.
That's a good putt. Dang it.
That falls like 99% of the time.
It really does. More than that one.
Yeah, that was high left side. That could have pushed out for sure. I kind of think of the heat zone as far as like the power pocket in the basket kind of being like if red means the best place to hit, like a diagonal line from the top right to the bottom left of red, and it kind of like fades to orange and yellow as you get away from that line. So although Carter did hit right side, the low right side doesn't always want to catch.
Yeah, I think 1 inch to the left.
Yeah.
Money zone.
Money.
That's like where we're all aiming.
Calvin still not interested in pars. Only 2 under through 8 holes. But
Jake, 8 or 5 through 8. A bunch of people 5 through 8.
Yep,
okay.
4 players out there getting it done.
That's good in this weather.
Yeah, I agree. I think the mark on this front 9, if you're getting under 3 under par, you're in the mix.
Yeah, money. Yeah.
And I think if somewhere in the 5 to 6 range, then you're absolutely killing it. As we fly over hole 9, par 3, 360 feet, low ceiling again. Backhand flex play is what you're going to see Nikko going with, but there's also a wide forehand line.
Oh, shoot. This is so good. Wow.
So how did that look so easy?
That's his favorite shot, kind of.
That was beautiful. Great control, very controlled effort as well. Like he barely put a move on that thing.
Is that a mid-range? Oh, man, it's a mid-range. You psychopath.
It's so good.
This is not a mid-range hole, folks.
Yeah, and it's a pretty strong headwind. Was that a Toro? I mean, like, is he throwing a Toro headwind 360? I don't know what that was.
Guardian gets him.
That was also a good-looking throw from Carter.
This is such a tough... It's a right-to-left crosswind. And so... It's just a tough get going wide.
Niklas going wide and kind of bouncing back towards the basket. He's going to be at the 10-meter mark.
Yep. That is if he wants it, outside the circle putt. If
Yeah,
he doesn't,
right.
inside the circle putt.
Oh.
Hello.
That was wind lift supreme right there.
Niklas, not big on the jump putt.
No.
Because he makes those.
He certainly does. A good putt. It's going to be a 1 under on the front 9.
Still solid, I think.
Yeah,
Under
I mean,
par.
I don't think he's going to feel like it's solid
No,
with this
his
2 under
caliber.
start and then 3 bogeys, but
Well, and he's like the best player right now.
yeah, trending in the right direction.
But for the field average, 1 under, you're happy with it, I think.
Yeah, the back 9 certainly has some scoring
Yeah.
opportunities presenting itself. Calvin, just not to be denied. 2 different runs of 3 birdies in a row in the front 9 that ends up putting him at 3 under par. The hot score in the front 9 is 5 players at 5 under. That's a really good start. GT Hancock, Jake Hebenheimer, AJ Carey, and Mason Ford. Also, is that Jordan Rye? I think is his name. Yeah. Great starts for those players. So, but yeah, a bunch of scores that are still, right there. 300 is a great score on the front 9.
No, you're right. Back 9 a little scoreable, so we'll see you guys in a little bit. Come check it out.